There's a couple songs that because I believe in a strong prayer life. And so God gives me songs about prayer. And this song says, I believe in prayer anytime and anywhere. Never mind what people say. You should never cease to pray. Oh, I believe. I believe in prayer. I believe in prayer. Prayer can roll dark clouds away. I believe.
All right, welcome back to Gospel Diaries. I pray that you have enjoyed those selections richly. All right, so we are back. Dr. Jackson, welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you're still here. I'm glad you didn't get up and leave and didn't come back. I think it's undisputed that James Cleveland is the known king of gospel music. I don't know anyone else with that pseudonym. So I say that to say that you worked with the king of gospel music. So we got to learn of your experiences with him.
Well, it actually, my relationship with him started several years before that.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, James Cleveland singers. I'm so sorry. Let's go there. Yes.
And I'm writing a book. I'm writing an autobiography, and I talk about this in my book too, about my experience with Reverend Cleveland and the Cleveland Singers.
Mm-hmm.
And the day that he called me, when I was watching cartoons.
Okay.
It was a Saturday morning. I was laying in bed watching cartoons, and he called me and told me I need a singer. I said,
"You sound just like him."
I said, "Oh, how you doing, Reverend? I don't know anybody." Off the top of my head, he said, "Fool, I want you to come." I said, "What?" I can't believe. I mean, I didn't even know I was on his radar for him to call me to ask me to be a part of the Cleveland Singers. And he was calling me from Detroit, and Clyde Brown, who was an original Cleveland singer, he had just quit. And I was so taken aback. I told Reverend Cleveland, I said, "Can I call you back?" It was happening too quick. Most people would say, "Oh, yeah." But took me time to process. Now remember, I wasn't really a confident singer at this time. I was still, to me, still learning to sing. So, but anyway, I did call him back and say, "Yeah, I'll come and become a part of the Cleveland Singers." And I flew into Philadelphia and had one rehearsal. And the next day we were for Joe Bostic in New York, in Madison Square Garden.
And we will put that clipping up on the screen.
Yeah. So that was the beginning of my relationship with Reverend Cleveland. I didn't stay with the Cleveland Singers very long because God had a work for me to do.
But you got a chance to record with him.
I did record. I did one album with him, and I led the song written by Robert Fryson, "Give Yourself to Jesus." I did it before Aretha did it, but he gave it to Aretha in '72, I think that album was released. So, but anyway, I had a wonderful relationship with Reverend Cleveland. We were friends. We were good friends. And so in 1980, he called me and said, "I'm just out the Clear Blue. I want to do an album on you." Well, I won't go into what I said because on Savoy, anybody that knows the record business, Savoy has at that time had its reputation
Mm-hmm.
for not being the most above board label. We
Mm-hmm.
got past that. Anyway, so we did the live album, and it says James Cleveland produced, but he wasn't there.
He wasn't even there.
He was in the Bahamas
Jesus.
somewhere. He was
Y'all hear
not
it, y'all.
there. And when we were doing the studio mix, he came in and he sat for about 5 minutes. He said, "You don't need me," and he left.
Mm-hmm.
So that album I basically produced myself, but it said James Cleveland produced, produced by rather, presented by.
Now, being on the road with Reverend James Cleveland, like, what kind of, how do you sum that privilege up?
Well, I learned a lot. I learned an awful lot from him. He sort of took me under his wing because I was a young singer. I didn't know a lot, and he would talk to me about how to approach audiences, and like he would always say, every audience is not a shouting audience, even though sometimes you sing to people and they don't respond physically, but that doesn't mean they're not enjoying you. So you just learn to do what you do, and that be it. So I learned a lot from him. I learned to be a lot more aggressive on stage because it was expected of me. I was his backup lead singer, so when he got tired, he would call for my song, whatever that might have been that particular night, um, to sing to give him a rest, and then he would come back. It was a wonderful experience working with him. He was comical.
Comical. What's the funniest thing that you heard him say?
Well, let's see. I have to think of something clean. For instance, in Philadelphia, we were doing a pickup date with Louise Williams.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
And she did we had a major date in some other city, but we were just in Philly waiting. So she did the Cleveland Singers, $1. Come tonight. It's that And when we got to the church that night, the people were lined up around the block waiting to see James Cleveland. But it started raining.
Uh-oh.
And the people just stormed the doors and didn't pay.
Oh, no.
It didn't pay. A lot of them didn't pay a thing. And so Reverend Cleveland gets up. I probably shouldn't tell this, but he tells the people, "We came here for the underprivileged children. And some of y'all took advantage of us. And y'all didn't pay. So I'm going to send the Cleveland Singers out in the audience. And there was some bad because y'all put money in there for the underprivileged children." Okay. And we're cracking up. Like, where does he get this from? Oh my God. So we did. I went up in the balcony and now people were just giving money. And I'm still a young, this is my first time on the road. I didn't have no better sense. And when I got back down to the floor, I was getting ready to go. And the promoter, she said, "Oh, I'll take that." Well, I thought it was okay. Wrong.
Wrong. Okay.
Wrong. When I got down to the front, "Where's your basket?" I said, "I gave it to you." Did what?
Oh, you were in trouble, huh?
Oh my God, I laughed so hard. Yeah, but it wasn't funny to him. But anyway, that just one little incident. Wow, he told me something that, he said he was so poor. Really? His family was so poor that he would write songs and sell them to Roberta Martin to get $25 so he could buy food for his family. Jesus. And the one song he mentioned to me was Grace. That was a big hit. Yes. And I didn't know that he wrote that, but it was a big song for Roberta Martin, Grace, stuff like that,
Jackson, so you've worked with quite a number of individuals, recognized figures in the gospel industry. But there was one name that you told me about that, illuminated me because it's close to heart because my godfather used to sing with this group. And you got a chance to actually sing with Professor. Alex Bradford, I'm too close to heaven. How was that for you?
Oh, it was very interesting. That was when the Henry Jackson Company, our very first album came out on Gospel Truth,
Mm-hmm.
and we were in San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
and it was myself, Rance Allen Group, Alex Bradford, and I can't remember
Dixie
who else.
Hummingbirds, right? Or the
Could have
Clouds of
been.
Joy. One of those.
It was another. It was a quartet group. I don't remember exactly. So I had a chance to sit down and talk with Professor Alex, and I didn't realize that at that time I must have been projecting some type of air, because he said to me, "You might as well come down because don't nobody know you." And I'm like, "What? Don't nobody know you? I'm Alex Bradford. They don't know you."
He knew who he was, huh?
Yeah. So it was just funny. We did the show together, and I enjoyed being around him. He was a nice guy.
You had your famous girls in the house at one time, the Caravans.
Oh, absolutely.
Talk
I
about
loved
that.
all of them. I knew them all well, close up and personal. Well, I played for Cassetta George for over 20 years. I was her accompanist, and I had a chance through her to meet all of them. And one time I stayed in Albertina's house when we were in Chicago. Cassetta and I, we were traveling, and we stayed with Albertina. And that was a wonderful thing for me to stay in Albertina Walker's home. And she was so nice. I would get up and sit at the kitchen table with her, just me and her, and I'd drink coffee and she's drinking tea and talking. What an experience. And then one day, because Cassetta was in town, the other girls decided to come over to Tina's house. When I say the other girls, I mean Inez Andrews, Dorothy Norwood, Dolores Washington, Josephine Howard, and Gloria Griffin.
Wow.
They decided to come over, because Cassetta was in town, and they were all communing and having a good time, and they decided they wanted to sing. Oh my God. Oh, and you know what? Bless me, John was there. Tina's musician was
John
there.
McNeil?
Yeah, he was there, and I was there because I was Cassetta's musician. But I had an opportunity to play for the Caravans in Albertina's house. Oh, and I wish I could have recorded that, but at the time, didn't have the recording capability. But I love those ladies, and when they were here for Reverend Cleveland, when he was honored in 1990, I believe he died in '91.
Right.
So they honored him at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion here, tribute to the King, I think that's what they called it. And the Caravans were on that program, along with the Hawkins family, the Mighty Clouds, I think. Of course, the Cleveland Singers, Southern Cal, a lot of people. So after the program that night, I had all of them over to my house. Everybody came except Shirley. She said she had jet lag and she was going on back to the hotel. So, but I had the rest of them over, and what a time we had. And of course, before they left, we had to sing. I had to get them to sing something. My day in a pure and perfect way. I wanna live. I wanna live on in a building not made by hand. I'm just a stranger here. And every day I'm traveling through this old barren land. But Lord, I know I've got a building somewhere. It's a building I made by hand.
Archbishop Carl Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
And a lot of opportunities were granted, or you garnered a lot of opportunities working with him. Let's talk about his minority age whole event that you was.
Yes, Carl, I met him when he first came to Los Angeles, and we became friends. He loved gospel music, but we became friends. And when he told me that he felt convicted to do something for the community because there were so many young people that were dying for lack of care, not able to get good care. So he started the Minority AIDS Project. And he got grants and participation from a lot of people. And one of the people that he was friends with was Dionne Warwick. She lent her name to the benefit concert to benefit Minority AIDS Project. He recommended me to her to be the MD for the show, which I did. I'll gladly accept it. I flew to meet her at Wolf Trap in Virginia. She was appearing there, and she told me that she wanted me to put together a 300-voice choir. So I did. Anyway, that show, it was Natalie Cole, Patti LaBelle, Jennifer Holliday, who else? James Cleveland, the Caravans. No, Sissy Houston.
Oh, Sissy Houston, okay.
Whitney never did.
Okay.
Her mother did it, but Whitney never. Wow. Just Thelma Houston, Howard Hewitt. It's a lot of people. So I had a chance to work with all of them because Dionne wanted them all to do something gospel.
Oh, I got you.
It was all so they sent me the songs that they wanted to do, and I taught them to the choir, and put it together. So it was a great experience, a wonderful experience, and it was all due to Carl Bean, and I really thanked him for that.
Just want to tell you from my heart to yours that I love you and I appreciate your contributions. It will never go unmentioned. I'll say this when it's applicable. Some people are in history because they lived. But you, my friend, you're in history because you impact history. And on that note, as I always say, by the fact, if you all want to make any donations, listen here, please, there's some information on the screen, but I do mean this from the bottom of my heart. Listen, love on someone, and trust me, you will change a life. You never know the smile that you wear just may be the ingredient that someone needs to put down that gun and say, I can live another day. So be kind and be courteous, and we'll see y'all later. Bye.
Morning, at the dawning, joy will come. Yeah.